IVM.
My favorite link is storytel.com/IVM, which is a lovely place to go. Best books available. I'm not saying that because they're forcing me, but stop choking me. All right, I'll do it anyway. I generally like to read only happy books, but this is a slightly more serious one, The Kite Runner. It's by Khalid Hosseini. It's basically the story of a young guy in Afghanistan and war-ravaged Afghanistan with all the problems that are happening, and how he finds his way to America and then actually comes back to Afghanistan into the hotbed of the Taliban sort of regime, and how he deals with all that. So slightly more serious, but then what can you do? Fridays, Saturdays, serious time. Sunday, rest day. In between, read the funnies. So keep in mind that if you go through storytel.com/IVM, you get a 30-day free trial as against a 14-day free trial on the link. All right, it's very simple. All you got to do is log on to storytel.com/IVM. Millions and millions and millions of stories, many written by me. All that and more. Find it all on Storytel. कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen, yaar, don't be so conservative.
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
I'm so excited. Mr. and Mrs. Binge-watch. I've tried to get these guys on our show, Cyrus Says. I've tried to book them. They're huge. They're very big. The agent said, call me back later, that kind of thing. But I finally got through. They're giving us 15 minutes. They will only talk about films. Only films. Mr. and Mrs. Binge-watch is their podcast, but now they're on my podcast. Aniruddha, Janice.
Why follow your auntie's advice when you can follow Cyrus Says on Facebook and Twitter to stay updated about the latest shows?
Now I've got another issue. My wife has told me, okay, it's not that issue. It's not that deep yet. The toenail, she wants it cut. So enough is enough. And I've given up shoes. So now I only buy sandals. Many people are like that today. And I'm not a yogi or in a cult. So I still have my sandal culture. Problem is that damn toenail can be seen in the front toenail of males grows very fast compared to the rest, and you start looking very, you almost look like a dying falcon or hawk or one of those birds of prey. Well, not from all angles, but from certain angles. Now, where the beak is, I won't get into. But coming back to the issue, she says, go and cut your nail. And she got really angry about it. And then my daughter Maya, who's now mini Aisha, starts screaming, yeah, cut your toenail, you look disgusting, all that. So I had to take more beating, finish the beating, and then I said, okay, I'll do it. I got the clippers, and I realized I can't actually reach my toe properly. I'm not able to, because of my torso, I'm not able to actually reach my toe. And let me tell you, there's nobody in the world who wants to cut your toenail for you. That is relatives or friends. There's a service called something with P. I won't get into that, but I can't afford that kind of thing. All right. It's called Cyrus Says, and we'll be right back after this break.
Advertising is dead. Yep, you heard me right. Advertising is dead. We're all in the content business now. Let's not call it news, TV, radio, etc., etc. It's all content, and we're in the middle of this weirdly exciting phase where all the borders and lines that have been drawn over decades has been swept away by this lovely thing called the internet. We're a show where we don't dwell on just the stuff that is now, but rather the wider stuff about advertising, media, content, and the whole goddamn circus surrounding it. Tune in every Tuesday for our weekly unboxing of the mystery box we used to call advertising. I'm Varun Dugirala, co-founder and content chief at The Glitch, and this is my new podcast, Advertising is Dead.
Now we're right back after that break. Because, see, I don't take a chance with listeners. You have to make sure, if they come in right at that point, the break is over.
Yeah.
In that 1 second, people are confused and then suicide happens and things like that. I don't want to be responsible. All right, let me set up my guests here without being able to read it. It's called Mr. and Mrs. Binge-watch, by the way, the podcast. We'll get into that in detail. Janice and Aniruddha are with us. Janice is a content creator. Can you read it yourself? Because I don't have my glasses.
Yeah, I'll read out my own bio. Okay, what parts do you want me to do? All of it is quite long.
Come on. It's so sweet when you say it yourself.
No. Basically, I do a show called Social Media.
No, I want all this. Please, Janice, it's not fair.
First, you get Aniruddha to read his.
Aniruddha, please.
No, I mean, okay, all right.
Yours is
I'll read Janice's, Janice can read mine.
This was the compromise that we were going to arrive at.
But this is a lot to... Would you have actually read this entire paragraph?
Sala, you put it up.
What, you wanted 2 lines or what? People we like to brag about ourselves. Yeah, we've done shit in our lives.
Listen, Janice had to cut this to half.
We're not all Cyrus Brocha. We're just like, naam hi kafi hai. Okay.
Oh. It's almost sarcastic. Okay, come on. 2 lines.
So you want me to read it as is this? It says, Janice Sequiera is a content creator, anchor and media strategist. Are you, Janice? You've got so many skills.
This is worth the price of the whole show. Just she doesn't know whether to be happy or to act humble.
I knew about the first 2. The third one took me by surprise.
What are you saying?
Yeah, she does.
You don't know?
Yeah, I just found out. Janice
we don't
has
really
so
live
many
together.
hidden talents.
We're like Gwyneth Paltrow and her husband. You know, we live in separate houses, but we're married.
Sorry, I forgot who's the husband.
I don't know. I just read one.
Oh, okay.
So that's
not
like
Brad Pitt or something, no?
No, fuck no.
I'm not good at this, man. I'm not good at this.
Brad Pitt and Gwyneth Paltrow was even before Aniston and this one.
So it was right.
It was like,
I'm not bad at this. I was sort of.
You're just old. That's like very old pop culture.
Old is great now. I can't deny that.
So we are done with the bio, right? Are we talking about celebrity couples now?
We have completed 1 line of her bio. There's lots to go.
Wait,
so are we going to break it up through the episode?
That's true.
Every 5 sentences we'll read the next line.
Just because there are 2 men out here, I shall not be outnumbered, okay? Read the second line.
Read the second line, yeah. The public wants to know.
She's a creator and anchor of the popular YouTube talk show series Social Media Star with...
Janice, come on, clap. It is a really popular show.
Janice has this thing where we had Poorna Jagannathan on our show, on
the actress.
The last episode. Because
I know, I'm good.
Because she appeared on Big Little Lies, and Janice insisted that...
She appeared on Big Little Lies?
Yes.
You had no idea
she had
about
a little...
I've seen her in a couple of Hollywood things or Englishy things.
Yeah, she's done a bunch of stuff. She was in The Night Off, which was on HBO, but she was here last week. And we were interviewing her. Janice insisted that everybody in the studio clapped. So after a point, because there was not much clapping happening, she was calling people in from outside
Cyrus,
saying, please increase the
why-
volume of
but
clapping.
why were we clapping?
No, let's understand this. Now, see, podcasts aren't paying anyone any money,
Correct.
right? So if I have to, audition for a radio job and stuff, I need to do stuff that what they're doing. Nah, they're getting people to do Tali Wali and all in the studio.
But who are you clapping for? Poorna?
Yeah.
To make her feel better because she's not getting paid.
No, every time Janice is like, we've got Poorna with us, yay.
No, I did not do that.
Yeah, it had to do
I was like, she was on Big Little Lies. That's one of the
Big
biggest
Little
shows
Lies.
in the world.
Huge.
Bada accomplishment.
Of
Of
course.
course you have to clap for that.
Yeah.
You've been on Big Little Lies or what? You sit at home and watch
But
it.
you also clapped for Social Media Star with Janice right
yeah, it's
now.
a big show. It's got 14 million views on
That is
YouTube.
14 million views.
Yeah, thank
Janice,
you.
Can you get out? Because ours are very low budget kind of. You're too big for us.
And we haven't even got into the media strategist bit of it.
I want to. Line
extra.
number 3. Aniruddha, line number 3.
Wait, let me
No,
brag.
line number 3
who's
is
been on
also
my
about Social Media Star with Janice. Because it now lists out all the people she has interviewed across 2 seasons.
Slowly, huh? So we have to check. Huh.
Oh, so we have to take... Okay. So it's garnered over 13 million views. Janice, you wrote this, right? In a short span.
One sec. To be honest, she said 14 million. So whoever this idiot is brought it down to 13 million.
No, it's gone up to 14. Now, YouTube everyday numbers count.
Oh, correct. So you printed
Kal
this 2
sham
weeks
ko
back.
likha tha, abhi 14 ho gaya.
Then it's fair.
Okay. And featured the likes of Vicky Kaushal.
Season
Slow. Vicky Kaushal before he became a star or after he became?
He became a star. After Uri.
Nobody qualifies for Janice's show before they become
You never
stars.
know, yaar. You never know. She may be able to spot them coming up.
No.
Then next.
Then there's Karan Johar.
Karan Johar before he became a star? That's many years ago.
Then there's a very interesting guy, Cyrus, you'd be interested about
bolo,
this.
bolo.
There's Dr. Shashi Tharoor.
Wow. In English?
Yeah, in English. We went to Delhi to shoot
And then who
with him.
translated it?
I don't know. The show basically has me interviewing them, and there's
Who's them?
There's an internet sensation like a Bhuvan
Acha,
Bam,
it's a group,
Prajakta Kohli,
group,
and there's a celebrity.
Wow.
So the idea is to talk about social
But
media.
on one end, with due respect to Bhuvan Bam and then Shashi Tharoor, so one is Thesaurus and one is Bhuvan Bam.
No, so obviously-
you've gone
obviously-
really wild. I mean, how do you manage? You
So
be on tangents.
we sat with the Thesaurus app on our phones. We were like, dictionary khol ke rakha hai.
And then you had to go back into slightly more Mawali speak. So
Yeah,
you go
yeah.
like, in sooth, I know not why I'm so sad. And then, bolo.
And with Dr. Tharoor say,
Dr.
guys,
Tharoor.
doctor.
See, have you noticed how people do that? Some people in the business will say Amitabh Ji, even if he's not there. I'm
No,
like, he's
no,
not
no,
here.
no.
Why are you saying it now?
No, G is like whatever, but
Dr. Tharoor kyun bola?
Bhai, doctor ka degree on
Did
kiya
he
hai.
deliver your baby? What is...
1 second. If you were a doctor, I'll call you Dr. Tharoor. What do
Doctor,
you want me to
do you
call
call Dr. Lata Mangeshkar doctor when you meet her? Doctor, just sign my autograph.
She says Mangeshkar Tai.
Yeah, I'd be
She's
like...
a Lata Tai.
You don't say Mangeshkar Tai.
Lata Tai.
What the hell?
Lata Tai.
You Bengalis, I tell you. You just come and change the rules. This is the Nightingale herself. For this, we are going to be banned for 3 days.
Oh dear, yeah. I'm
By
just thinking,
Fika.
Listen, I've heard your show before.
By name.
You are a lot more irreverent than that, all right?
What are
like
you
we
saying?
go beyond
Yeah, you
Pederot. We go a lot beyond
Double
Pederot.
slap. You know where they live.
you seen that? You seen that Netflix ad? Vicky Kaushal.
Yeah.
It's like, he's not that hot.
He's not that hot.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, let me tell you.
he's hot. Okay.
My
Once
lady
did
friends.
you just say Vicky Kaushal is not that
I
hot?
don't know any girl.
You have
but-
another season coming up, right?
Yeah.
You probably
I
want
don't know why I
him to
just said
re-up
that.
Yeah. Vicky Bell, are you talking about the director?
No, Vicky Kaushal.
Vicky
only.
Kaushal. Okay. So my friends who are female all find him really attractive.
I can see it,
And I
but
don't know
just...
why, really.
Maybe it just doesn't tickle my funny bone.
Okay,
think
stop
about that.
this language usage after Dr. Tharoor. I'm not able to empathize with. Please stop this tickle funny bone and touch my nose and hold my... I mean, let's stop here, really. Aniruddha, please, you've not completed the biodata.
Oh, there are 5 more names over here.
Bolo.
We'll just rush through them now.
No.
Sonam Kapoor Ahuja.
Sonam Kapoor Ahuja?
Yes.
Who's this?
I'm just reading it as it is here.
This is not Sonam Kapoor, the actress.
Is this Sonam Kapoor, the actor?
Then why is there an Ahuja there?
Because she got married and she added an Ahuja.
Like Madhuri Dixit Nene?
What are you saying? She's also married. Call Dr. Tharoor. I'm just not getting any information in this small studio.
I don't think he's that kind of a doctor. But
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and shadi. And no one tells us.
No one tells poor Cyrus.
So really, Sonam Kapoor is married? I didn't know this.
Of course, she's been married for over a year. We were at a wedding, by the way.
you want to share
Okay, if you were at the wedding,
dates?
what is the husband's name?
Anand Ahuja.
Oh, you know the guy. Okay. The husband side invited you.
No.
Sonam. Okay, all right. I'm just asking.
I don't know why I'm just dropping these.
Quickly, we got to talk about your show now. We're just rambling about this next guest.
Who wrote this? Janice
Chan.
also commands over 8 years of broadcast.
No, you didn't mention the other
experience.
guests. You didn't mention the other two
there's
guests.
Bhuvan Bam.
Bhuvan Bam.
Which we
Who you
discussed.
just
Sensation.
like totally belittled by saying कि मतलब वो
40
कैसे
million listeners.
14 million, yeah.
14 million can't be wrong here.
Rana
Great.
Daggubatti.
Wow.
Whose surname is very difficult to pronounce.
I would go with Rana Sir.
Daggubatti.
Rana Sir would be the right
I've called
way.
him Dugga Batti for an entire episode.
He never
that I've
corrected
showed.
you.
He did, of course, some 5 times, and I still got it wrong. I was
But
like,
wow.
shameless.
But don't you then stumble on it? I find I start stumbling once I get the name wrong.
Also, Rana Daggubatti is very hot, so then what happens is you're
Achha,
stumbling.
Rana's very hot, but Vicky is terrible.
very hot.
You're like,
Rana's very
just
hot.
terrible,
Is
terrible.
Rana hot or not, Aniruddha?
Why are you asking him?
But Vicky को terrible बोला उसने. सुना
I
नहीं
didn't say
तूने?
terrible. I said he's not
But
as hot
he
as
said
other.
terrible.
So
You didn't correct him.
Her exact word, I was because she didn't say a word, but her face was like going towards terrible. It was like, I don't know why.
No, he's not terrible.
See, it's not a visual thing, so I can't explain it to people listening, but basically you said...
you've described it.
No, exactly. And she said, I don't know why women find him, and then her face went into like... So I said terrible. I tried to complete the sentence. It's normal.
Oh God, I got to be really careful about what I say to someone.
Anyway, he's charging 25 crores a film. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he doesn't give a
I don't
time.
think it really bothers him. Bhuvan Bam, then who's the last one?
Abhishek Bachchan.
Abhishek, he's good fun.
He's good fun. I love Abhishek. We're all Abhishek fans in this room.
So am I. I'm a big Bachchan
Chill
fan.
guy.
I like both father and son. Then
And several others.
that sounded wrong, but anyway.
Several others.
Several others.
Several
So,
others.
इसके कमी जो लोग हैं, don't feel complexed if you've been on the show and not being mentioned.
Etc.
Etc. And the others. All right.
Shall I read out the last line?
Yes, you must.
This is the line I've been trying to read.
You
because
please.
it says, Janice also commands over 8 years of broadcast television experience. How do you command something like...
And 8
Yeah,
years.
why would you fuck off? Okay, you should have proofread it then.
8 years in 2 years. That's the thing. She got that experience in just 2
So
years.
she
So you know where
commanded
I
it.
spent 6 out of those 8 years?
Where?
Times now. Your favorite.
Wow. With the man.
That
With
is
the
it.
man.
The
I was
bio
his
ends.
entertainment editor for 6 years.
The ultimate comedian.
The ultimate comedian.
Who started panel comedy. It was not even a thing before.
Since you're on Dr. Shashi Tharoor, so Janice...
Well, not really, but his cousin.
How do you go from Tharoor to...
Yeah,
Oh, that's a
his
good
cousin.
connection.
That's a great story, right?
Both
So,
have glasses.
when
His best
Janice and I
friend.
were dating, and I used to be working at the Time Out office in Mahalakshmi.
What the hell?
Time Out, the
Time
magazine.
Out, Time Out. Lovely magazine.
Right? And
Sad-
Times
sad
Now
end.
was in Lower Parel, and it was the end of the day, and I was going to pick her up, and we were going to go home.
I like the word fetcher. Having a daughter myself. Because pick her up sounds really
Yeah,
strange.
you're right.
Okay,
So,
so you
that's
are
like
fetcher.
that's like
For
the
all
politically
listening,
correct
yes.
sense. Yeah.
Fetch her.
It's like saying I've had enough instead of saying I'm full.
Or are you coming? People always say, hey, brocha, kidhar hai? Are you coming? I said, shoot. Obviously, I'm not coming.
So listen, we're getting to the dark part of the story.
I'm sorry, I don't
So
know why
I leave my
segued.
office, and on the way to Lower Parel, we find out that Sunanda Pushkar's dead.
Oh, God, why are you telling me this story now?
Sunna, pura story sun. So Janice calls me up and says, listen, babe, the Sunanda Pushkar just died, and the entire desk
Stuck in
has been
office.
asked to stay at
Correct.
work, so I can't leave. So I'm like,
Yeah, because I was dialing people like Shobha Day to give condolences and stuff. And Arnab is in the studio. It's happened during news hour.
This is on his command.
This is, obviously everything
yeah,
happened.
it's like everybody else. Fuck off, no, going home now, stay back and make calls.
Right.
So she says, why don't you come up? I'm going to be like taking about 45 minutes. You come to the studio and sit in one of the rooms and we'll leave in about an hour. So this is the first time I enter the Times Now studio. So when I enter, I can hear the guy shouting in real time. This is between 9 and 10. So news hour is on.
Okay.
I've never...
So he's on camera shouting.
He's coming in and out of the studio.
Yeah, he's in and out and he's like... He's
Staying in
firing,
character.
He's
Staying in
firing
character.
employees,
Yeah.
going back in, firing whoever his panelists are.
Yeah.
So I go into one of the rooms and obviously I'm also curious about what's happening, right? So there's a TV, there's a remote. And I start watching the coverage. And in some time, Janice's colleague walks in. She's like, what the hell are you doing? I said, why? What's wrong with what I'm doing? So I was watching Rajdeep.
In Times Now.
So she said, no, this is blasphemy. You can't do this. I said, fuck that. This is who I watch at home. Why would I do it any differently? Because I'm in the Times
वो
studio.
मेरे ऑफिस आया मैंने उसको गेस्ट रूम में बिठाया टीवी ऑन कराया
So
he's
I
watching
was-
fucking Rajdeep.
This is like being a Pakistani watching an India match and cheering.
So Janice
He's
was
gonna be in
informed.
trouble.
So
Yeah.
Janice was informed. She came in. She said, "I think you should leave now before I get into trouble." But yeah, I mean, I did what I was given a remote and TV. And why did you have the channel on then? You should not have CNN, IBN on your fucking roster of channels.
Oh, so it's
At the
cable
Times
guys'
Now
fault.
office.
His excuse is, yeah, exactly. And his excuse is he wanted to watch the news.
Yeah, I want to watch the news, and I'll watch the guy who I watch on a regular basis, right? Like I'm not
But
going to.
apparently that is not a good,
No,
real, emotional upheaval will happen immediately on this
Yeah,
spot.
so
Red
that
flag,
happens
red
anyway.
flag.
That happens
So yeah,
anyway.
Janice never invited me to work again.
But just quickly tell us, now that you brought it up, I'm told that off camera also he, at that time he loses it. But otherwise he's really quiet and soft-spoken and all in public when we meet him.
So yeah, I'll tell you
he
what.
has to save
When
up
we
on
meet
all
him,
that
when we meet
energy,
him
right?
in an event and all that, the very Tamese body language
I'll
and
tell you,
all
I'll
that.
tell
He has
you.
to save up on energy, right?
He has a classic Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde sort of issue going on. And now it's been like 4 years that I've not worked with the man.
But you still wake up sweating.
Dude, everyone who's worked at Times Now and left, I
I
feel
woke
like
up
needs
sweating.
therapy after some time.
And you had only that one
Because
bad.
she worked with him. I woke up sweating.
Okay,
in the
one
middle
second. So the year, the last year of our relationship, where I was still at Times Now, was a year that everyone just kept dying. And I mean like legends dying, okay?
Right.
So like Rajesh Khanna
Which is
dying,
big news for news.
Devanand dying.
Yeah.
And I would get woken up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and whether I know anything about the dead person or not, I have to stand and start doing live.
And I work
so
at time out. So I
man,
have to get to work at 11 a.m.
And
right?
you're
and like,
your
I have
whole
a 2-week cycle.
2-week cycle to think about the death.
Chill.
And yeah.
So he's like, what the fuck is happening with your life? But no, coming back to Arnab, I feel like Arnab in the office has, and now we've watched enough content and seen enough international editors to feel like there is he's mastered and he's modeled himself on one of those guys where he feels like this is the way to get work done out of people, not like leave them in peace and harmony to do their fucking job, but to terrorize them until they fucking do exactly what I want to do. I don't know if he's changed. I don't know if the Republic is any different, but
The Republic as in India? Or, because
the
it
Republic
is sounding
as in,
a little...
Yeah, the Republic as in he's very
Life
famous
imitates
channel.
art.
Not the one that has any propaganda agenda
No,
shit
of course
going on in
You
it
think
at all.
he's changed? How could he have
I don't know.
changed,
I'm just saying I haven't worked with him in 4 years, but the 6.5 years I did with him,
Like his
well,
style hasn't changed. I mean, it's only gotten louder.
again, I don't watch. Like it's a strict rule at home. I don't watch.
You watch
Republic.
Rajdeep.
I do.
You guys have been
I don't
clear.
even watch
We've
Rajdeep. I
gotten
just
off
go
the
on
news
fucking
now.
Twitter
Now
and I
we're
read
on
my
social
news.
media, man. I mean, this was still 5 years
So are
ago.
they. So are they. Last line, are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
This is the longest bio.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck
and,
off,
and
yeah.
almost the
And we
whole show
haven't- and-
has been her bio.
And we still haven't spoken about the
we-
media strategist bit.
Fuck off, yeah. Let's
What is
read
it?
Aniruddha's
Quickly,
bio.
media
No,
strategist.
let's read
We're doing it, we're
Aniruddha's-
going there, we're
no,
going
no,
there.
no, let's read Aniruddha's bio.
One second. So what is the media strategist?
So basically, right after I quit Times
You
Now.
really fell for it.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell
It doesn't
you.
take her much
Went-
to talk
went
about
for it.
herself.
You know, of course, I love
What an
talking about
ego,
myself.
Aniruddha. What an ego. Go on, sorry.
So after I left Times, I was lost. I was Alice in Wonderland. I was like, मैं क्या करेगा जिंदगी में? So then I realized that a lot of celebrities thought I was slightly intelligent. So they were like, hey, why don't you come work with us and help us sort of figure out what
Who?
we should... Whatever. You don't
As
name
like a
the
manager?
people.
Yeah.
Not
Oh,
like,
to strategize, obviously.
yeah, like to...
Janice
basically-
has a diary of celebrity names who she can't take out like in public
But
places,
give-
especially
okay.
on this show.
So like I
So-
worked on movies as a strategist.
what is the name?
So like I worked on films like Sarabjit. I worked on films like, what was that stupid film with Arshad Wad?
Stupid film.
Janice,
There were so many stupid films.
I just, I set it up by saying you have a diary of names that you never share. And
And
now
I'm
you're
just like, I
sharing.
gave it.
Janice,
And now you
say
say
Okay, I
film.
worked
If you
in-
say stupid film, we get thrown because there's so many.
So
I
Vicky
worked on-
Kaushal's not turning up? on her show? Who else right now? You said Arshad Varsi, you said, right?
Anyway,
Who's one of the nicest guys?
He's a lovely guy, but the film was really bad. Yeah.
Which one?
It's called, I think, Welcome to Karachi.
Yeah.
Correct?
Okay.
Oh, that film you know about,
No.
Cyrus?
I don't watch it, but I know about it. I know about it.
Arshad दोस्त होगा ना, तूने स्क्रीनिंग विनिंग में देख लिया होगा.
Yeah, exactly. So I follow people whose names I remember.
सोनम कपूर की शादी हो गई ये नहीं मालूम है. Welcome to
We did
Karachi.
the catering. How was your family? We did
I
the
remember
catering.
eating Parsi food at the wedding.
There you go.
Yeah,
Cheap Parsi food. Tell us your story, strategist. So name the one person. Who did she do the strategizing for?
I'm done. I'm done. My God, getting into this shit is actually like.
I have signed an agreement where I can't speak about Janice.
Aniruddha Guha.
Okay.
Aniruddha is a screenwriter, columnist.
Is it Aniruddha?
It's Aniruddha.
But how do you say the A?
His family says it's meant to be Aniruddha.
It's Aniruddha.
It is their half.
Is that
you say Ram?
In Bengali, it's Aniruddha.
You can call him
Rajay.
Aniruddha in Bengali. But I mean, I went to school in Mumbai, so everybody just called me Aniruddha.
Yeah. And his dark name
thank
is
God not in
Rajay.
Delhi, or they'll call you Vicky. no connection.
His dark name is Rajay.
Is what?
Like that's a pet name in Bengali.
What is it?
Rajay.
In his family, no one is
Rajay
called by
like the
their...
Marathi surname?
Yes.
Why? Why not Tuntun and Kumkum and Bum Bum and all
could
that?
Have been possibly. Like my cousin brother's Tuk Tuk.
Like Tuk Tuk, like for real.
Anyone TikTok? That guy will be worth a lot of money here.
They're all sounds basically.
Is it mean like Raj?
It's like Phoebe. It's
like
a
Raja
sound.
Beta.
Raja Beta. Like Raja only, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Raja.
Started off like that.
Raja with pyar se.
Okay. He's a screenwriter, columnist.
What's your pet name? Jani?
Well, my mother called me Bubbles.
Ajit would call you Jani.
So
Janice, I've known you for 7 years.
Janice,
she's never
Johnny.
called me Bubbles.
What? You were called Bubbles?
No, I was not called Bubbles.
Are you from Delhi?
No.
Because always the name has no connection. All my friends from Delhi.
Janice is Putta at home.
Putta is just
in Malayalam, you know what that means? Are you mental?
Once again, Konkani.
What are you guys saying?
Hello, Konkani mein Putta means son.
Yeah, but in Malayalam, you must understand what it means in other language. Like London, Blockley.
Please tell us.
When I did that show for the first time in my life, it was very difficult for me. Because
please tell us
in
what
Swedish,
Putta means in Malayalam.
I can't. But it's to do with mother relations and all. It's not right.
Okay. But it's right that the mother
I think it's
called
doggy.
him.
It's doggy. I'm not sure. I'll have to check.
That's Poda Patti.
That's my neighbor. What the hell are you talking about?
Janice has also command over 9 languages, by the way. That's
what
not mentioned in the bio.
9 languages?
He's just like setting me up for this shit. Okay, what has Aniruddha Guha done?
Right now, we only got his pet name is Rajay. Let's find something nice.
Screenwriter, columnist, former film critic. In 2016, he made his debut as a screenwriter with POW Bandi Yudh Ke, an official adaptation of Gideon Rav's Hathu film Prisoners of War. Earlier adapted as Homeland in the US and directed by filmmaker Nikhil Advani.
Now I'm confused.
So, Gideon Rav made Hathu film.
Right.
Okay. Then US said हमको चोरी करने का. They made
it's a
Homeland.
chorified show.
Not chorified.
No, it's an official
adaptation.
So it was an Israeli show called Hathu film.
But they readapted it to American.
Homeland's first season was a exact replica of Hathu film.
What are you saying?
And then they took the character.
Cheaters.
But they bought the rights.
Cheaters.
And you're like, after my poor Kabir Singh for robbing that Reddy film.
Oh,
you guys are disgusting.
That's also a fucking remake. Nobody's robbing anything here, Cyrus.
The producer's upset.
पैसा दिया ना तो तुम official.
I'll tell you what was
Kabir Singh
robbed.
made more money.
I'll tell you which idea was robbed. Jalwa. Which was robbed from Eddie Murphy's entire
Beverly Hills Cop.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Including, I think they played the theme also, if I'm not mistaken.
And you know why I'm making this Jalwa reference, right?
Yeah, why?
Oh, really? You want me to say it out loud? You know, we've had this conversation before.
Yeah, I have a memory of it.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
This is why you don't like him, no?
Who says I don't like him?
Because Jalwa came back up. But I'm saying, listen, Kabir Singh.
Jalwa came back up.
What is the Jalwa conversation?
Is it my biodata time? Let's finish your biodata.
Because look, Kabir Singh or Homeland were both official remakes, right? So चोरी कैसे बोल सकता है?
Because it's my show.
मतलब rights खरीदे यार.
And
ये
from
show
now
का
on,
नाम है
it will be called
Cyrus.
Chori. Homeland has been robbed.
Fine.
So what is the Jalwa reference? I didn't understand that.
Because you were in fucking Jalwa, right?
That's what you're trying to say. I thought we were talking about the remake of the movie.
Yeah, but Jalwa was not an official remake, so that was actually...
Because in those days you didn't have to. Lovely
Chori
times.
fight.
Yeah.
So many Hindi films, so many Hindi songs.
It was amazing.
Great times.
Good times.
Like Sleeping with the Enemy has been made like a bunch of times in India.
Name the film.
I don't know. Yeah, you tell me.
Darar was Sleeping.
Very good, Aniruddha.
About 4-5 times, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
Rishi Kapoor played the husband thrice.
In 3 remakes.
In 3 remakes.
What are you saying?
He was at least in
Must have
2.
mastered it
he
by
was
the
in
third.
Yarana and...
By the third, he was, I'm the best. And the award for remakes. Yeah.
He's the savior, essentially.
Wow. Yarana is a remake?
Yeah, no, not the Amitabh Bachchan one, the Rishi Kapoor, Madhuri Dixit one.
Mera piya ghar aaya.
Come on. There's only one Yarana. You can't talk like this. We'll take a break and then come back while I destroy the guests. Bring me something.
Hi, I'm Anupam Gupta, B50 on Twitter, and listen in to the Equity Sahiya podcast brought to you by Motilal Oswal Asset Management Company. The Equity Sahiya podcast offers deep investment insights into the potential of many sectors in India which are growing and have a lot to offer for your portfolio. New episodes out every Tuesday on the IVM Podcast app or any other app where you get your podcasts from.
Welcome back, and we can see anger in the studio. The couple are angry about
We
references.
laugh when we are angry.
So let's apologize right now, so that in case anyone ever hears this, it stays forever, maybe. So
I don't want to apologize
to Vicky
anyone.
Kaushal. You're a lovely, good-looking man, and you're doing so well.
But Janice doesn't think so.
No, Janice doesn't think you're worth that much money.
Yeah.
She's saying top 10, but not top 5.
like
You just
me.
don't float my boat.
You don't float my boat. You're not John Abraham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not Hrithik Roshan.
Abraham.
I don't know.
Gone out to John.
DiCaprio. I don't know.
Not Rana
You tell me.
Rana Daggubati.
Very good. Very good.
Rana Daggubati.
Daggubati.
Now you got it right?
I got it right now.
You know how to say it?
Daggubati?
Let's say it fast 5 times. Whoever wins wins.
Daggubati,
Rana Fair enough. Start.
Aniruddha is not that
I
over-smart
won.
kid in
What,
class.
five?
Always.
Five?
He's like Bengalis.
Bengali.
Bengali.
They look down on you. Even if they're losing a football match, they still look down on you.
Scrabble maybe harega, so it'll be like, "Arey, I'll let you win."
The language is fault. The language is fault.
Yeah.
You did too many double letters in this game.
Correct. Or the time is elapsed. Let's move on now. We've got your biodatas out.
Yes,
By the way,
let's move on.
we've had 400, I think, episodes almost. And this is the longest introduction. I mean, we've never taken half the show.
Listen, and frankly,
and honestly, the biodata is only one page. How?
And you have two.
Yeah.
And you have two.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not even finished Aniruddha.
But listen,
I just left it halfway.
in our house, Janice's career is what matters. I'm really just happy that I can stay with the cats at home,
They may have made that
feed
movie.
them thrice a day, and Janice goes out and does her media strategism.
Listen.
And
He's
the
not writing a
anchoring.
book on our lives.
No. This is more
He's
interesting.
not
It's
like giving-
amazing.
I want to know the cats' names.
So our oldest is Audrey.
Who loves
Audrey
me?
is
Audrey Hepburn.
Audrey. Yeah, she's
Hepburn.
named after Audrey
Audrey
Hepburn.
Hepburn. Because when we saw her, we were like, oh, she
She has
looks
that
just
biggish
like
hair.
Audrey.
To be fair, my best friend Delshad saw a picture and she's like, she looks like Audrey. And we're like, okay.
A Parsi girl having drunk 3 drinks looked at a cat and said she looked like an aging Hollywood star. I like it. That's proof enough for me.
Delshad is all vintage, all things vintage.
Fair enough. But Audrey Hepburn is beautiful in any era.
She's beautiful at any
A
age.
beautiful person is a beautiful person.
Yeah.
Great.
with the
Okay,
cats.
so Audrey, then the middle one is Trishka, because I just wanted a very
Russian name.
So that's a mixed
Because
name.
Janice
no?
has
That's sort
watched a
made
lot
up.
of those Cold War shows and she's like,
You need to have the
"Ek
Russian
to ऐसा
presence.
चाहिए ऐसा." Alexandria और
Alexander.
Trishka के बीच में आया option. She went with Trishka.
Alexandria is just too long.
Alexandria is more Egypt, no? Because he named 27 cities after himself.
Yes.
On the
No, but
march
just
back.
think of it, no?
Yes.
That's what I like about
And they were all called Alexandria.
He just got bored.
Yeah.
This is when you're really a king. Kill. Alexander. Sir, we just named it doesn't matter. Alexander. What geographical confusion for postmen in those days. No? Mr. Iyer.
You think
Alexander.
we'll have 29 Gujarats in like a few
I
years?
didn't want to go there, but you know,
Just
we do
checking.
have.
Just checking.
We do have.
We have Prayagraj already.
And we do have the same roads, formerly from the other government as well. The same four roads that go through our country. Sorry.
And the smallest baby is Groot. Baby Groot, he's a boy. You know,
So when
Groot,
Groot came home, he
Galaxy
was
of the
baby
Guardians.
Groot. Oh.
I am baby Groot. I am Groot.
That's the kind of reference I really enjoy.
Okay, hold on, Janice. Never do the voice again.
I am Groot.
I am
That's
happy.
nothing like Groot. But so yeah, there's a character in Guardians of the Galaxy called Groot, and when we got Baby Groot home, he looked just like Baby Groot, and so we called him Baby
But can
Groot.
you say Rana Dugabatti
I
fast?
said it,
It's
huh?
Dagubatti, and
I
I've said
said
it
it.
5
I was
times.
testing
and
you,
I have
and you're
won.
right.
And
It
I
is
have won
Dugabatti.
this game. Let's not go back to it.
1 second. What do you mean he's won this game?
Bengali.
You all did
Without
Dagubatti.
participating.
I did Rana
This is like the
Dagubatti
Battle
5
of
times.
Plassey.
You want to rewind
You're just
and
going to
listen to it?
decide. You can't decide.
So I told you Bengali issues.
Huh.
Janice, everything can't be the same sentence.
By the way, do you all have children? Just the 3 cats,
yeah,
right?
the 3 cats.
Is there a male or female human?
No,
Also?
no. We have no human babies.
Okay, just the 3
We
cats.
have water crisis going on. What human babies?
But you feed milk to the...
No. And no, babies don't
I mean,
need
how
water.
cheap can you be? I'll save the milk for later. Water. Can we move on? We're here to talk about your show, your podcast. And your podcast is called, because there's one thing I know, is research. Mr. and Mrs. Binge-watch. So obviously, because you're both cinema files or whatever the word is, what is it about?
You want to go, Janice?
No, you say.
So essentially,
Look at the way you ask her. It's not fear. It's almost like, I have to say this.
नहीं मेरा 17 minutes
अच्छा
का
तेरा 17
introduction
मिनट का हो गया हाँ
तो
okay,
अभी
fine.
बात
तो
कर
अभी थोड़ा footage मैं खाता हूँ. So
please.
essentially Mr. and Mrs. Binge-watch is Janice and me talking about the stuff that we are currently watching, because we do consume quite a lot of TV. Mm-hmm. And with the entire streaming service boom happening, and with the fact that there's so much content available and the number of TV shows that come out.
But tell the truth, because now as a couple,
right,
and all couples face this, it's very rare to find something you really like in a long series.
Yeah.
No. We watched.
Do you? I want to watch Bruce Lee, for example. She was going berserk.
You mean Warrior?
So, no, Warrior. The Legend of Bruce Lee. It's actually in Mandarin or Cantonese.
Okay.
And slightly B grade, but I couldn't resist it. 50 episodes, by the way. The wife left me.
Yeah. So look, I don't think we are going for the 50 episode shows right now, because the kind of stuff that's coming out on Netflix and Amazon,
I'm seeing your GOTs.
It's all 8 and 10 episodes now. Right?
No, but when we started off,
yeah.
among the first few shows we watched together, we watched like a good 4-5 seasons of many shows. Yeah, Entourage, Good Wife.
Yeah, back in the day.
Walking Dead.
Back in the day. So,
I mean, at that time.
What is back in the day about?
Like 6 years ago, when there were that many seasons of.
जब हम 25 and 26 के थे.
जब we met. These references I still have some vague idea.
Oh God.
When there was no Netflix, Amazon in India.
So what I'm trying to ask you is, what happens when you don't agree? We can't agree about everything.
Yeah, so if she likes something that I don't, she continues watching it without me. And
like I have a problem. I don't like leaving shows midway. Like it irritates me.
And I can like.
And he can leave it if he feels like it's not interesting.
I also like to finish the plot.
Listen, I used to, but there's too much fucking content available, and you can't waste time over one thing that you know
hence
is
we have the 5-minute rule. You guys have the 5-minute rule?
Yes.
So 5 minutes you can change.
No,
5 minutes you see the whole damn thing.
No, but with a TV show, you need to give it one episode to figure it out.
Balls.
Like a pilot.
Then you have to see the whole thing.
Listen, 5 minutes.
One episode.
5 minutes for a movie. That's like a 2-hour movie. You're giving it 5 minutes.
One episode is like keeping a car for 7 days
no,
and then returning
even movies we do interval तक मतलब कितना झेल सकते हैं.
No, but not when you're at home.
You actually live together. It's all arguing about everything here.
Like one thing.
So what happens? For example, again, I have this personal problem. My wife and my friend Kunal, they like to watch. I think they have mental issues. They like
Both
to
your
watch.
wives?
Yeah, both my wives. They like to watch ridiculous things like there's a furniture show where they just talk about furniture. They actually talk about furniture and show you wood.
Okay.
And that's the show.
Yeah, so home makeover shows are amazing.
Yeah, all that. I can't bear
like
it. And I've actually tied something to my neck, but it snapped and I fell back down.
Yeah.
So how do you... Come on. So there's obviously things that you can't stand. And then what do you do?
So we have shit that we watch on our own. In fact, I used to watch this show called... What is the runway show that we watch?
Project
Runway, okay?
What is that?
Basically, every season there are designers.
About the Mumbai airports?
No, yeah. It's like a Heidi Klum show and like they're designers and they're designing shit and there's a runway every episode. I love that show.
Runway as in what the models walk on?
Yeah. Which like the designers have designed clothes for them.
So the orgasmic moment in the show is some stupid skinny women walking up and down a stupid board.
Yeah.
There are also men.
And also men. Anyway, and then the judges rate the designs and blah, blah, blah. So I used to...
Blah, blah, blah!
Yeah.
I'd have killed her. This is not fun.
Yeah, but...
So you watch
the
it, but
story.
quietly.
I don't. That's the story.
So then what happens?
And then Aniruddha started watching it with me.
Oh!
And he was fucking addicted.
Oh,
okay,
baby.
To a point. No, this was a show that I would watch when I'm having a meal or I'm having breakfast.
So he likes watching models. He likes watching models.
Of course, we grew up on FTV. What's wrong with you?
But that's with the sound off when you're drunk. This is with your wife discussing the denim fabric and how it falls across.
And Aniruddha would be like, when it's come down to the... So we've not finished the last season, so we don't know who the winner is. Every 2 weeks, he'll be like, we need to finish that season and find out who finally won. And I'm like, I am not as invested as you are at this point.
So you converted to this whole concept.
So she was the first 3-4 seasons all by herself, and I would walk into the room, look at it, and just walk out. And then I fell ill, and she started watching the 5th season. And then after the 4th episode,
Mr. Bengali,
she said,
I'm sorry.
She said, let's take a lunch break. And I said, what the fuck are you talking about? Let's watch one more episode. I don't know how that happened. Maybe it was the meds or something.
He started quoting Heidi Klum. So Heidi Klum has a line, right, on the show. One day in fashion, you're in. The next day, you're out. Guha was like, start saying it to me. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
To be fair, that was a phase.
You were brought
we all go through phases.
You were brought up in Oscar Wilde and Premchand, and you came up with Heidi Klum. One day in fashion, you're in. One day you're out.
He grew up in a film household, and like film is revered in their household.
We all grew up in the 90s.
His granddad is a big filmmaker.
There is
and all
no
of them.
Premchand happening, bro. You all
studied
grew
in
up
school.
on David
I only
Warren
passed
films.
Hindi thanks to Premchand.
But Aniruddha's
Because the
watched.
plots were interesting.
He's watched all
You
your
grew up on
Pyasa.
Salim Javed, right?
You bastard. You go back to fashion school. Go back to fashion school. Don't point fingers.
Why?
I think that's beautiful.
What is wrong with
you
growing
did
up
not
on
get
Salim
it. It was an
Javed?
era thing, Janice.
Oh, she didn't get it.
It was
She
a
didn't get it.
generation
She didn't get
thing.
the insult.
The fact that he
Oh,
grew up
because
in the
he's old.
70s.
But we know he's old.
Salim Javed fought in the 70s. So Salim Javed is actually early 70s. By end 70s only Salim or Javed. Wow, but that's good. That's true.
See, okay. Anyway.
So the point is that he actually started enjoying this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Has she changed her thing towards your taste?
Yeah, so I mean, what are some of the genres I've introduced you to which you love?
What a bloody chauvinist! What? Svengali himself, you see how he said it? Oh, unpad, idhar aa, baito niche. Abhi batao. Sahi batao.
He loves taking credit for the fact that he has educated
You
me
are
on
such
such
an
a
asshole.
You have taken the
You
Bengali
set-
stereotype beyond, and I have so many great Bengali friends. You've gone
set
beyond
me
all
up
of them.
for that, man. You first spoke about what I have
But
followed.
look at how you asked her.
What are
have
the
I taught you?
genres?
Unpad, what did I teach
That's
you?
not
What are
what
the
I
last 5
said at
genres?
all.
Bol, Janice. Jenny, bol.
Is that what you think, Guha?
Is that what you think, Guha?
Is that what you think?
How many times have you promoted Mr. and Mrs. Binge-watch today? not
once.
like, can we go back to it?
Tell us so quickly, sorry. I won't interrupt. Now.
So we basically come in and we're like, acha, ye dekha hai, and then we sort of go into detail. We do a deep dive. Ki, this is the show. This is why we love it. This is why you should watch it. So basically, you're like, I like how you're peering over our little bio now.
I can't see without glasses, huh?
What
I'm just checking you telling the truth. After the wiki
Cyrus,
caution.
how old are you?
Oh, don't start. Salim Javed. I know the dialogues in Sholay, so I don't know what to say. Yeah, sad.
No, but Entourage is a show which I had already watched.
But Entourage, everyone can enjoy.
No, but
I can see that.
I'd already watched Entourage, and then I asked her to start watching it, and then I just watched it all over again with her.
And then, of course, we got into your Good Wives, your Walking Dead. See, okay, so
That
I would
I
never
can't
watch
bear
a zombie
zombies.
show. I would never. But dude, Walking Dead is so much more than a zombie show. That's the thing, right?
Oh, God, you guys
so
are
much
painful.
more, like-
She's sounding Bengali too. You've done well, beta.
Hey, please, we mangies are no less, okay?
I know. Look at the way you talk now, man. He's gone all crazy.
It's so much more than
It's a
zombie.
fucking zombie show.
Yeah.
They're walking like dead people.
Okay, so zombie show, I would probably not have ever ventured out to watch on my own. But then Guha was like, "Chal dekhte," and we were like, "Chal dekh liya." Superb show,
So just like the fashion runway,
Yeah.
you've now become a convert for the
Yeah.
zombies.
And
we
together, I
both-
think we've become a true crime. Like, we're the couple who watches
True crime?
fucking load
All the
of
time.
true
I love
crime.
true crime.
All
These things
the
I can
Murder,
watch.
mystery, documentary.
How can you not like that?
No, I know a
That's
lot of people
interesting
are
and
not into
exciting.
it.
It's not fabric on a runway flying with some, fan.
Hey, that's also fun.
No, yeah.
It is, yeah.
It's too
Next you say you
boring.
don't
Unless there's a
like...
motor on
One
the
second.
runway.
Do you watch Queer Eye?
Only thing I enjoy is that all the famous, iconic designers speak with their mouths shut. It's just when you say it's beautiful. They never open their mouths full for some reason. There's a correlation with
stereotype kiya un logo.
Yeah, I mean, God bless him. He just died. What's his name? Yves Saint Laurent or whatever.
Yeah, Yves Saint Laurent.
Have you ever heard of my name is Yves Saint Laurent?
I don't think I've ever seen Yves Saint Laurent on a reality show.
This looks so little. No, they would talk to them
But like a
off
Michael
camera.
Kors opens his mouth and talks. Nah,
You think?
I don't think that was working.
Yeah, that was too much.
Yeah, see, Anna Wintour talks.
Who the fuck is Michael Kors? I hope he plays cricket for some country. This should not be in my head.
No, but it has happened that Janice and I, our tastes have sort of rubbed off on each other.
Wow.
Because we didn't have a choice, right?
Can we talk about binge-watch? But what is the idea there? To just talk about the show.
Yeah, we come
You
in-
fight on the show?
Yeah, we argue. If we have a different perspective on a particular aspect of a show, sure, we do. When we were arguing about a show recently only.
Which one?
I don't know, something about the American legal system. Oh, the documentary. So we were basically talking about, we did episodes about documentaries. And I was talking about how I don't like it when from the first 10 minutes itself, I can tell you what the documentary filmmaker's gaze
Prejudice.
is like. Like if he's
I know what you're
already,
saying.
in favor of the subject.
It's a good point.
Yeah, and he was like, no,
That's a very good point. Why do they do that? Why do they set it up where you know where they're going?
But the whole point is that you'd also not want to watch a documentary where there is no opinion being offered, right? I mean, journalism is meant to be balanced.
No. Opinion being offered, but you can see that they are pushing their agenda.
Yeah.
That's what she's saying.
Yeah,
When I sense that, I back off immediately.
No, but I mean, it's not like it doesn't...
Have you watched Making a Murderer?
I think so.
On Netflix,
I
right?
can't remember any
It's about
titles.
Stephen Avery, the guy who was sent to prison for 27 years. And
For
there
a
was
crime he never committed.
Wrong crime.
Yes.
Now, see, if you're saying it's for the wrong crime, that means the
that's
filmmaker has
information filtered down
convinced
later.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were only talking, it was the same discussion. I'm saying that you can't have made that documentary where you said he may be innocent, but there is also evidence to prove that he might be guilty, right? I mean, if the filmmaker takes that stance, what are you going to take away?
Well, as an independent filmmaker who's not financed by a big, broad studio, I've always tried to be in the middle.
Right.
And find the middle path.
Of course.
No pun intended.
Of course.
And all my movies, as you have mentioned, have been brilliant.
Yeah.
So, always in the middle.
Yeah. All films that you've also been fans of.
No, but so we do argue on the show, but essentially the idea is that if you're tuning in, you walk away with at least a few recommendations, whether it's new, whether
That's the
it's
idea.
classic, whether it's...
See, I think the key is passion.
Huh.
Since you all are both passionate, I think people will listen. That's the key. I will get you a sponsor in 15 minutes.
Thanks, yeah. Thanks. Well,
Vicky Kaushal must be in the next episode.
Yeah,
This is my only rider.
Yeah, okay. What about Saif? Saif chalega?
You like Saif?
Yeah, I love Saif. We all love Saif.
Also because he's
So
fronting.
finish with the Indians first.
Because he's fronting.
Ooh, low blow. Anyway.
I think he's a British passport holder.
Abbas is looking at you. Abbas is like,
Abbas is saying,
Khadam karna.
it's over. We have the AMA is coming up next, but it's called Mr. and Mrs. Binge-watch. Are you legally married or just stay together?
No, we got a certificate a
Really?
couple of years ago, yes. We went to
What did you come? Did you come third?
We got married on a
How do you get
beautiful
married?
vineyard.
Like,
With only,
no, I mean, the ceremony would be what?
we had a court marriage.
Okay.
So we had like 1 3-day party for our friends.
So
and
just a
family.
legal, you have the proper legal marriage, but
Yeah,
there was no
yeah.
religious ceremony attached.
There was.
We did do the fairas and stuff, but on a vineyard in like Nasik and beautiful and all of that.
Name
nonsense.
one actress whose first name is Farah.
I was going to say Vera.
Farmiga.
No, it's Vera Farmiga.
Vera Farmiga.
Fawcett.
Oh,
Much
Salim
older.
Javed का era, Salim Javed
उसके
का
पहला सलीम जावेद आज की कौन है Farah?
And I too went to Farah Farmiga.
But you're a show off. You're a Bengali. Why did you have to go there? Mine is very simple.
There is no person called Vera Farmiga.
There is Vera Farmiga.
Vera Farmiga.
But in Bengali, that V and B is the same. no?
That's the problem. That's the problem. All that O, R, all of
तो
that. sounds-
मतलब F कहाँ से आया उसमें?
Do you say benchod or venchod?
I say Benchod, the Hindi.
Because
Hey,
you say-
Abbas, I have a question. Why does he not get beeped and why the fuck do we get beeped? Every time we
Dude,
say
they've
fuck
been
on our
beeping
show,
our
they beep
shows.
us.
We get beeped.
No, you don't get beeped.
Of course we get beeped.
No, I heard an episode of yours where you said fuck
Full
and it
show you
was...
don't
You didn't
get
beep
beeped.
fuck?
You said fuck at least 5 times and it was in there. Mukul said fuck and it was in there.
That Mukul
We
goes
say-
on saying fuck.
And
You also
Purna,
said fuck
poor
off.
thing she
You
was
said fuck off
explaining.
Gopal and that stayed. And we fucking say fuck and it gets beeped.
Really? That's not fair.
That's not cool.
Maybe you have
Yeah,
a big...
Abbas, you
I
better
think-
answer this question. We want to
Just
know.
what is this rule is only for those born in the 70s.
No,
Yeah.
Y'all
No,
have a-
this is only for like celebrity podcast hosts.
y'all have a bigger audience. Our audience is Mukul and me only. So what's the big problem for that particular podcast? Okay, guys, that's it. The AMAs are coming up and Mr. and Mrs. Binge Watch is on the IVM podcast apps. New episodes every Thursday.
Right.
Yay!
If you have any questions for Cyrus, write to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Or you can send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
And we're excited to be back with the AMAs and we have our chief anchor, the one and only Abbas, who was turned down by Comic Stan. I want to tell OML and Comic Stan that you dare turn down my boy.
Yeah,
You
how dare you?
Because if
How
you do it
dare
again, you see what happens
Those
to your
fucking
pop.
judges.
See what
No
happens to
more
your
OML
pop.
talents on IVM, okay? Abbas, you make that a rule.
No, there's enough litigation that is already there. I'll just push it. I don't know. We come from lawyer family. Don't worry about it, Abbas. We'll finish them off.
Of course,
OML
yes.
will become LOM. They'll do fashion runway next. No comedians left.
Project Runway.
Project. I'm so
Anyway.
sorry. I don't watch the show. Stop rubbing it in. All
I
right?
have to
I'm not
justify-
converted to fashion yet. I'm looking at it, but I'm not converted.
I have to
Huh?
justify the beeping thing, okay?
Oh,
so,
right.
this show that we are speaking on...
But let me ask the question.
Yeah.
No, let me ask the question.
Set it up.
So basically, yeah, because I mean, that's what I do now.
Yeah.
Anyway, So,
For the fifth
on
time.
Cyrus, on Cyrus's show, he
Yeah.
says penchod, he says fuck, he says other shit, and
Right.
you don't beep him out.
Because-
on Mr. and Mrs. Binge Watch, we poor things, Ani, and I say
And we
fuck.
said fuck like thrice in 7 episodes.
And वहाँ पर भी तू beep लगाते हो क्यों?
Why?
Why?
Kyun, Judge Sab?
But you say it as an offer or something? Why 3 times? like you're in court or something?
On the
Huh?
other side, fuck.
Kabolo! Fuck.
Kabolo?
I don't know. I'm just...
Kabul hai.
Oh. Achha, this we can't catch up. Like, it'll take us a while to...
It's gone
What are you
somewhere
doing with your hand? back to what is your complaint?
So why do you beep us? Yeah? What the fuck?
Proper person to answer this would be Amit Doshi, but on our network we don't censor Cyrus's show. On Amazon, when this goes into Alexa, we even beep shit. So if I say shit, it has to be beeped. So, and I also take out a lot of the so-called controversial stuff that you say.
And then I say.
Yeah.
That you say.
So stuff that he says about the Modi government.
Listen, I listen to all my podcasts on Spotify. He said fuck on Spotify. We don't say fuck on Spotify. What the fuck?
They've got a point there. What the fuck?
I'm just thinking about all the stuff I have to beep now while saying it.
Like if you say fuck,
Let's say fuck really quickly. Let's say fuck really quickly 5 times.
No, I'll tell you. Because we actually do it as a scientific thing. Our abuse is always scientifically.
What if we have to say fucking Rana Daggubatti 5 times really quickly? There'll be 5 beeps.
I won't be allowed back into Andhra Telangana again. What are you guys doing? Calm down. He's a lovely guy.
Daggubatti.
She said it throughout the interview. She couldn't get the name right. I mean, he's sitting in front of her.
Daggubatti.
That's
okay.
Daggubatti.
Shall we get to the questions?
Yes, please.
All right. So the first one comes from Aniket Aryan. Aniket says, "Hi Cyrus, this is Aniket. What are some pop culture fads that you as a parent find annoying and unnecessary?"
Not having baths.
Pop culture fad,
facts.
I don't know anything
else. For
else.
example, Star Wars you think is something you should not expose your child to.
But he told me that now you don't have to have baths anymore.
This is true. We're saving water because in 2020, 21 cities in India won't have water.
Yeah. So he said that all of them are thinking of bathing much less.
He? Your son?
My 16-year-old son, Mikhail, who says, we only say 2 things, well, to me. One is get out of the way because I'm in front of the TV. And the second is I'm not having a bath.
But you were complaining about...
Let's get back to pop
Ariana
culture.
Grande. You said you don't
that?
like...
Yeah. That's my daughter.
I'm so surprised you know who Ariana Grande is.
No, I'm emasculated by my daughter now.
Amazing.
I have an alpha mother, alpha wife, and alpha daughter. So I've completely finished.
Fab.
It's like your 3 cats.
Like Charlie's Angels.
But at least you can get the cats neutered, huh?
They're like Charlie's Angels.
Well, yeah. Charlie's
Maybe you know who Ariana Grande is?
Yes, of course I know.
Amazing.
Sing one song about
fuck you all. Don't
say fuck, say Ariana.
Okay.
You really know her? Sing one. Okay, say one song of hers.
I'll just quickly do...
Spotify.
Thank you next.
Thank you.
He's a very famous
What?
Thank you next.
Why do you know Ariana Grande?
Because
this is why they didn't put you on Comic
someone in office made
because you sang an Ariana Grande song at Comic
officer. Thank you next.
No, now OML got angry because he went into the Ariana Grande song there. You're supposed to... Your joke is 2 men go into a bar or something. What did you do?
Relatable content nahi kiya tune.
The bar was playing Thank You Next. So
you sometimes wish that Indian Laughter Challenge came back with like Johnny Lever and
the first season I really loved. The one with
Rauf Lala.
No, that was second season. First season was
hardcore fan. Isko pata
Sunil Pal and Raju Srivastav.
Sunil Pal and Raju Srivastav before they turned.
Some of them weren't bad. Now don't be mean.
But I'm not being mean.
He's saying you should come back.
I'm openly promoting fucking Indian Laughter Challenge.
Do you think some of our Hindi comedians are like far more sort of adept at like understanding and cracking jokes about our current scenario? I don't know why I'm just doing this. I'm just hijacking Cyrus's show.
Abbas, I think you should do that. Next audition in Hindi. Because being from Lucknow, your Hindi is decent.
Some of my punchlines are in Hindi.
Like what, Benchot?
No, that is Delhi comedians.
That's ridiculous. That's a line. I speak Hindi because I said Benchot.
That's a line after you punch someone.
1 second, this is not going on your show. I'm telling you right now. So give us a joke in Hindi.
Action. Never do something you're good at for free is what the Joker said. So I'm going to
say it in Hindi, but no. Hindi mein bolo.
I don't know.
अच्छा बहुत प्रेशर
जिस चीज के आप माहिर हैं उसको कभी मुफ्त में मत कीजिए.
But
hilarious. 10 on 10.
But where's the joke?
He asked me to crack a joke.
Translate.
Like the Joker said.
Actually, it's a great idea because the judge can't understand what you're saying. He has to laugh. He doesn't want to look stupid.
That looks like Naveen Richards on the show. When he can't answer the Hindi comedians, he's like...
Listen, Cyrus, before we wrap up today, I think you should insist that he cracks one chutkula in Hindi before...
One dirty one.
Think about it.
One dirty joke.
Think about it. Aram
okay,
se.
cool.
Okay, before we...
Cyrus, no one says dirty joke anymore. No one says that.
Why do you tell me this before we go on air? You have to tell me all this before. Now exposing me on air is terrible.
You mean non-veg joke?
You mean non-Jain joke? I don't know. What is the right term? What is the right term?
Non-Gujarati joke.
Our proprietor is Gujarati and Jain. But he's the one who uses this language. Bolo.
Gopal Krishnan Anant Narayan says, Hey Cyrus, how are you? I'm writing again because I loved your episode with Tiska Chopra. I want to know if you can roll your tongue.
Tiska Chopra and roll your tongue.
Let me just tell you. No, that was foreplay for the big bomb that came at the end. It was all foreplay. Like this, like that. Now roll your tongue, take off your pants and come closer. What the hell?
I don't know, Cyrus.
What is roll your
tongue? Clip of this
You tell
episode.
us, Janice, what does roll your tongue mean?
Roll your tongue. Like, can you roll your R's? Can you roll it?
I think it's actually the tongue doing something.
I think you should send her a video. Can we take a video of Cyrus rolling his tongue?
And roll your tongue at the same time.
Wait. Let's take a video.
Rana, Daggubatti and Tiska Chopra and roll your tongue. Who's
okay,
going to do
Cyrus, come on. Roll your tongue now. We got to send this video to the chick. I can't even see your tongue. Show me your tongue.
I'm 47 years old. The organs are vanishing every 2 minutes.
Oh my God, you're actually doing it. Okay.
Rajesh, don't be angry. When I do this to Janice, I'm not trying to hit on her. I'm just rolling my tongue. You try?
I'm not fucking trying. No, you didn't ask me. It was for you.
Anant Ji didn't ask him, okay?
But the funny part is, it's an audio medium. He's asking me to roll my tongue. It's a visual thing. I mean, I can't even...
We'll send video.
No, he's just curious. Can you roll your tongue? Say yes. Over.
Yes.
Answer.
Yes.
Okay, the last one comes from Tanuj Bhamri. Tanuj asks, hey Cyrus, would you like to open the contemporary Irani cafe?
Yeah.
Answer given.
I love the Irani cafes. I'm very scared of them dying. We've discussed this many times. I don't know. You guys are attached to all this?
Of course.
Of course.
We grew up and I went to Xavier's.
There you go. Not just Xavier's, all over Mumbai. You have Irani cafes in Malad and
Kayani and stuff.
Yeah, Matunga. I mean, everywhere.
Tanuj Bhamri has a restaurant himself in Bangalore. He says, do come by the restaurant. It's called Kenzin Sushi and Tempura Bar.
Not the typical Irani cafe name. Not your Mocambo or Light of Pasha. This is a little different from what I grew up with.
Tandoori chicken bhi deta hoga wahan pe.
Global society.
So it's an Irani restaurant with a Japanese name and Indian cuisine.
No, Irani cuisine. Go to Banmaska, please.
He says he's ready to give you and Kunal a free meal if you don't.
Just cause Kunal did a show called The Foodie.
I don't want breakfast, yaar.
Oh, flight ka paisa deke jaake free meal.
Kunal ko kitna free khana milta hai. From the time he's been doing that, The Foodie,
at least,
I would be like, dude, can you just stop going to restaurants for free?
When they used to fatten the animal to serve at the supper, it made sense. You're just fattening the animal and he's just getting fat. And there's no reason for it. He just gets fatter and fatter.
They're paying for the meal.
Oh, yeah, they are paying for the meal. That's for sure. That's it? That's all we have time for?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll end with what we started with. No cuss words. You have 30 seconds to abuse as much as you can on this show because you can't on that show.
Correct.
Go for it.
Rana.
Ye gali hai sale.
So he's jealous. Because you said you liked him.
Yeah,
Okay, Vicky.
Why are you attacking him? You don't like Vicky. It's very confusing.
Yeah, who do I? Yeah. Fuck bolna nahi bolna hai. Koi aur bol nahi raha hai. मैं क्यों बोलूं?
It sounds better when a lady says it.
अच्छा ऐसे? नहीं.
This is like a Scorsese film now.
In Bengali,
do we have 30 seconds? Do we have 30 seconds? Hindi chutkula, please. You were supposed to crack a
हाँ
Hindi.
तू दे गाली.
Come on,
give gali.
Yeah, but I just want to quickly ask: is it puck or fuck in Bengali?
It will be puck. You are right.
Fuck you. Start fast.
You want a joke with a gali also in it?
Yeah.
Itna pressure.
We are more interested in the gali than the joke, but we don't want to say
We're
it.
going to rate you
Because
out of 10.
we want you to beep yourself, Abbas. Beep.
I'm Naveen Richard. She's Kenny something, and you're
Yeah.
Kanis
Surka.
I'm
Kanis
Kenny Sebastian.
Kenny Sebastian,
The most popular
Kanis Surka.
judge on
I'll
the-
tell you a
Naveen
joke which I do, which mostly gets a laugh. It has a gali. The gali
So
is
much
the
pressure.
punchline.
So much pressure.
Superb out of 10.
So I'm a dental college dropout. I became a freelance writer after dropping out after 2 years. So my dad told me, Abbas, when are you going to get a good job? I'm like, Dad, I already have a job. I'm a freelance writer. And he's like, beta, your job itself has the word free attached to it, right? I'm talking about a real job. I'm like, Dad, I'm also doing about a stand-up comedy, Dad. Stand-up comedy? I was like, अरे बेटा फिर से गांड मस्ती शुरू हो गई तुम्हारी.
It's nice.
That's a good one.
Why are you organizing?
Nice. You should have gotten selected.
It's a conspiracy. I'm telling you, it's anti-minority. I've figured this out. I'll stand outside for it.
Taking it there.
And Abbas, you and me will stand out. There is no Parsi, there is no Muslim, there is no Jew, there is no Buddhist, there is no Chinese Indian, and there is no Anglo-Indian.
And there are,
in this bloody show.
And there are 4 women who never
Sardar
make it to the top
no
5.
Sardar also. Who's there? Who's there? Only one type of Indian.
There's no Bengali either. Huh?
Hey, no, there's a Catholic. Joel D'Souza represent.
Catholic is enough. Bengali, the problem was the shoot was at 7 a.m. Okay, folks, great news for me, not so much for you. We're going thrice a week. We're not repeating shows. We're going on thrice a week to regular shows and a new one, the birth of a new one called Land So, Left Arm Not So Orthodox. It's talking cricket. 2 great minds talking cricket. One who has never played the game and the other, well, relatively less inexperienced. The one and only, what's my name? Cyrus Brocha. Lanso. New episodes every Wednesday. Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In. Or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
And that's what Cyrus says.
Hey, this is Shidaditya.
And I'm Amit Doshi.
And we host Shunya One.
It's a really fun podcast where we talk to some of the best entrepreneurs in the country.
Yes, talking about everything from their startup challenges to what they're building and all the future of technologies right here.
So catch us on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you listen to your podcast from.
Are you constantly seeking happiness? Wondering how to make the most of every day? How not to let your inhibitions stop you from achieving your goals? It's now time to get your A-game on. It's time to unlock your true potential. Tune in to the Empowering series with me, Zarina Poonawalla, to feel empowered in all genres of life. From behavioral skills to management skills. From health to relationships. From mental well-being to emotional well-being. And of course, your finances. I've got you covered. With these tips and tricks from me, Zarina, and true life stories from my amazing guests, you're bound to bring your purest to the table. Tune in to the Empowering series with Zarina Poonawalla every Thursday on the IVM Podcast app, website, or wherever you listen to podcasts.